Welcome to the movies, pal. It's nice to see you. Come on in. You look fresh-faced and fancy. Free seats saved for you, as always, here in the theater. But watch your head, because I hear, at least the forecast predicts, birds. Now, right up front, and this may disqualify me for this review from the beginning, but I was not a big fan of Hitchcock's The Birds. I think it's a really strange script. Almost feels like two movies sandwiched into one. The whole Birds thing just didn't connect with the first half of the movie. It was very, overall, a mixed bag for me, and a very awkward movie. Not one of my favorites. Technically, this is a TV movie, but Showtime, is a cable TV channel, so they can get away with a lot more stuff than, normal network television could get away with. Namely, gore and nudity. The Birds 2 gives you some surprising gore and kind of nudity, and I'll explain that a little later on, but, don't expect this to be, Porky's with birds, because it's not that. But then again, you probably didn't think that. The Birds 2 runs 1 hour and 26 minutes. This is such a good movie that the director himself didn't even want to take credit for it. The film is credited as directed by Alan Smithy, which is the Directors Guild pseudonym for a director who does not want to use his real name for a movie. This TV movie sequel to Hitchcock's film, one that admittedly I'm not really a fan of, is essentially bird porn. Not that you see birds doing it, but you do see plenty of birds. So if you love looking at bird footage, this is the movie for you. A husband and wife move to a small island to spend the summer with their 2 kids and find themselves at the center of another bird apocalypse. Despite a few intense bird attacks, this film is pretty low energy and mellow. Chunks of it are dedicated to the wife potentially having an affair and the husband not working on his doctoral thesis. Best part of the movie is a Chelsea Fields wet t-shirt moment, which I'm stunned because you can 100% see the goods. Also, for a TV movie, it's surprisingly gory. You'd figure something like this would pull its punches, but there are plenty of eyeless, bloody corpses strewn throughout the movie. This isn't a terrible movie, it's fairly well made. The biggest problem is the film ends in an awkward place, and there's no explanation as to why the birds are targeting this specific island, and more specifically, this particular family. They just randomly got pissed one day and decided to fuck some shit up. Which I guess is in keeping with the franchise, because if I remember correctly, the original Birds ends kind of ho-hum too. Like, wait, what the fuck just happened? The birds have gone crazy, all of a sudden they're calm? What? Why? Why did that happen? Oh, cut the credits. Similar things happen here. I'm not going to go into spoilers, really. But it's one of those movies that kind of leaves you high and dry. And while it does offer some interesting thrills, I mean, if birds flying at people is exciting for you, it also doesn't offer anything else. I suppose in terms of explaining itself, Vinegar Syndrome has put together a few special features. You get a commentary track with film historians Amanda Reyes and Sam Pancake. You get an extensive making-of documentary featuring interview with its cast and crew. And it's like 4 or 5 people. It's not the director, who wanted nothing to do with this movie, and none of the main cast, which is kind of a shame. But somehow they were able to get a 54-minute documentary. Then you get a 17-minute interview with the composer, Ron Ramin, and then the locations of the birds, an 11-minute featurette with production assistant Craig Edwards. You also get reversible artwork. Ooh. Look, I know I talked shit about Birds 2 when it was initially announced, and to be honest, it's not a terrible movie. It's okay. 3 stars. 3 stars for The Birds lands, and yeah, Tippi Hedren is in it, but she doesn't play the same character because it takes place on a different coast. I mean, they even mentioned the events of the first movie in this one, Bodega Bay. They said, that something happened 30 years or so ago, on the West Coast, and here it's happening now. Of course, there's no real reason why. For some reason, these birds are targeting this innocent family, and a few people on the island are getting attacked, but we don't see that. We just see this one family, Brad Johnson and Chelsea Fields, and their family dealing with bird attacks for no real reason. I mean, at least, say what you will about Birdemic, at least James Wynn gave us a reason for the birds acting cuckoo puffs. Here, we don't really know what the hell is going on or why it's going on, and don't expect it to, because the movie is just really concerned with footage of birds. Lots of birds everywhere. Birds covered in oil, dead birds being thrown in, mass graves. If you love birds, alive or dead, this is the movie for you. On its own, do you need to own it? I don't think so. I mean, unless you're a super fan of TV movies, yeah, I guess. Sure. Is it worth getting on a sale? I don't know. Again, you're going to have to decide for yourself. If it were me, if I had TBY bead, I would not have bought it. That's where I land on it. Of course, with the subscription package, it's mine now, Mario, and I'll have to figure out a way to pass it on, pay it forward. As a matter of fact, if anybody watching is interested in the birds too, email me. It's in the description, and you'll get it for a Black Friday price, because I don't need it in my collection. And that's where I stand with The Birds 2, also known as what? That'll do, Bugaboo. Time to close the theater down. I hope you enjoyed this Vinegar Syndrome review for The Birds 2, the least likely candidate ever to appear on Blu-ray for this label. It is what it is. I didn't hate it, but I also don't think it's worth your time either. I'm in a weird gray area with it, which is strange. But 3 stars is not low. It's a good movie, but anyway, I've said what I've had to say. Time to close the theater down. I'm going to grab the curtain, pull it across the silver screen there. I got to bid you adieu, my friend. I love you very much. I'll see you again, but the theater is closed for now.